And welcome to Coping with Donald. I am Phil. It is January 4th, 2000, no, 3rd. It's the 3rd, 2026, and we're already off to a running start in the new year where we go full fascism and don't give a crap about our own people. Happy New Year. I had a friend who always says, "Oh well, see, I refuse to say Happy New Year. I know I said it on a video because I guess I was forced to, but I know it's going to be such a bad year for everyone." Venezuela, Maduro and his family have been sent to New York, captured and sent to New York by the United States to face criminal charges. And we're going to be really nice and send Marco Rubio and Pete Hegseth maybe to run Venezuela in the interim. Oh God. They're already Rubio already made a comment about Cuba, and I guess Greenland won't be far behind, will it? I hope that all Trump people, Venezuela might be the new Argentina, like after the war when the Nazis ran to Argentina to hide. I think Venezuela might be where all the MAGAs go to hide. We are the bad guys. Sorry. I mean, I actually believe that Maduro was not looking, towards stopping drug traffic to the United States. I believe that, even though it's really hard to believe anything Donald Trump says. Okay? Um, I certainly do believe it, but who are we to judge? Oh my God. Okay? Seriously, who are we to judge? Do you really think that drug use is going to go down in the United States because of this? Drug use exists because there is a demand for drugs in the United States. And the worse the United States gets, the more there will be a demand for drugs. And we're going down there. But today I want to focus not so much on Venezuela right now, which I think is the opening domino, which then goes to Cuba and Greenland and all that stuff. And we become a Putin like regime. We are fascist, folks. We're not on the way to it. We're fascist. Trump did not even tell Congress about Venezuela. That's what a fascist regime does. Okay? Uh, so, I want to talk for a minute. Today, of course, there is the big scandal in Minnesota about daycare. Now, whatever the facts are, I don't know. I see all sorts of different things reported, such as the original report on the daycare schools in Minnesota was because the man went at a time. Schools weren't open. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if that's true or not. But it's like something Trump wanted. Just like Trump will want something to happen. If somebody steps on an ICE agent's foot by accident, Trump will declare martial law and the end of elections this fall. So, yeah, we found a school with a Somalian and we demonize Somalians. Plus, also, let's freeze all payments across the country, which I don't think will last. I really don't. However, let's look at this latest step. Let's just say daycare costs go way up. And people say, oh, it's 2025, Project 2025. They want women to be forced to stay home and bear children. Nobody's going to force you to bear children. Let's hope, God, they don't get to that point. But we've gotten it to where it's prohibitive for most people to be able to pay for childcare. Now they have to pay back their student loans, and those are the people who would be having children. Pell Grants have been slashed, so that means it's going to be harder for kids to go to college, especially minority kids. And yet they claim that'll make it easier for them to claim, really only white people should have these jobs. DEI, because minority kids won't be able to afford to go to school. Unless, of course, they join the military. Medicaid is being taken away, forcing families to pay so much more for that. I made a video on that before about where's the money going to come to invigorate the economy. Food stamps are being cut back. And I saw a jar of mayonnaise last night for $11. I wanted to share that with you. It was the big jar, but still, it was $11. Come on. And Section 8 housing is being phased out. Now, each one of these things on their own, there can be actual arguments for and against. And I recognize that. What I'm trying to say now is that these things are all being phased out. So that some guy can buy his 90th yacht, and also so that we can invade Venezuela and wherever the heck we want. This sounds very Putin-esque, doesn't it? And it's getting close to sounding very Hitler-esque without concentration camps. Although, you could make an argument about what ICE does. At the same time, JD Vance has to be the biggest moron and idiot in the country because he's running around saying we need to have more babies. Being a single person at this stage of my life, at age 68, being a single person, I am able to afford things better than if I wasn't a single person. Not just because there would be another person there, be it a child, be it a grandchild, be it a spouse. But I know I can deny myself things because I've done it my whole life. There's a lot of things I have denied myself in life. And a lot of the reasons were financial, if not all the reasons. But when there's somebody else with you, when there is a spouse, a child, even a dog nowadays, which nobody can afford, and they look up at you with those eyes pleading for something, it's very hard to deny them. So, as much as a lot of people think that two-person households will defer expenses, it probably adds on to expenses because you cannot say no to that child, or that grandchild, or that puppy, or the spouse. You can't say no. You can say no to yourself, but not to that person. I'm saying that as long as you're not some sort of, we see all sorts of videos on people who only care about themselves, but if you're better adjusted than those people, I'm not even going to say well adjusted, okay? Better adjusted than a totally selfish person who throws people under the bus while they cruise through life. I'm able to fight these things a little bit better in my own budget, in my own household. And I always said that I have a feeling that other people will be screaming uncle before I do. I was in a little bit better financial position. But people have been screaming uncle now for the better part of a year. Actually, they were screaming uncle in that year where food prices, all prices went up 10 or not 9%, 8%, whatever it was, during the Biden term. I don't think we're getting the real inflation numbers here. And with Donald Trump at the helm, we know he doesn't like high inflation numbers, so he just either changes them or fire the person. I don't agree with what the government's telling us. I can't trust it because Donald Trump has his hand in it. But it's not getting to the point where I have to scream uncle by any means yet. But I will not be able to put aside money that I wanted to, say for my new air conditioner, which I have to put in. Probably have to get that on credit. Or I want to get it on credit. Let's put it that way. And I wouldn't have done that a year ago. I've actually paid off most of my car. 2 years ago, I had an $18,000 loan on my car. And now it's down to about 4 or 5. So I was trying to pay down my credit. Then the roof went, and I had to get a new roof, which didn't cost that much because I'm in a condo association. It was spread out among everybody. So I've got that loan, and now this will be my third loan if I put it on credit, my air conditioner. Again, I don't have to cry uncle. I'm fine with food. I can have food. I have my car, which only has 9,000 miles on it, give or take. I think it's 7, actually. And my housing costs are still somewhat low, even though I have a feeling they're going to go up approximately $200 a month, thanks to Ron DeSantis saying he wants to end property taxes. Isn't that ironic and crazy? So I'm starting to get to the point where I would say I'm in a pre-crying uncle stage. And I don't like it. And nobody should like it. And I think it's unfair to really demonize people who are falling behind under our capitalist system, our greedy capitalist system, not a capitalist system. A capitalist system would work. But they also get blamed because of it. That's your fault. You shouldn't have bought that. You see that crockpot? Shouldn't have bought that. And people are just saying, that's enough. I'll buy it and I won't pay for it. And then, of course, they get blamed for that. This is just a reaction to the stages of capitalism that we have experienced. One was regular capitalism, which was probably about 50 years ago. The second one was capitalism saying to the government, look, you pick up for these poor people, okay? You give them programs, et cetera, so that we can exploit. And the third one is now capitalism saying to the government, hey, you know, what about our interest rates and the national debt, the debt? You have to stop giving things to those people. We'll still continue to exploit. And that is late stage capitalism because it can't function. I see videos of people that are trying to set up tents in the snow. I see people living in their storage units. This is disgusting. This isn't right. A lot of those people are doing Uber. They're killing their cars just to try to get money for food for that week. This is wrong. Our system is broken, and we have to address it. And if nobody will listen to us, I always say that what we should do is hit them where it hurts. Number one, don't have babies. Don't give that to JD Vance. And number two, don't buy anything you really don't need. In order, you should be paying for shelter and then food. Some people might mix that. And then the rest, because you might need a car, some kind of a car, to go to work and back. There's health care. I understand the frustration and the pain that many young people are going through, especially the same ones that are being vilified for actually wanting to have a decent life, but they don't know how. And of course there are people abusing their credit cards. Of course there are people abusing Klarna on items they don't need. But take a step back and look at the bigger picture. We were lucky enough in our youth, I'm talking to the older people now, to be able to pay for these things, to have a good winter coat, to have some kind of a roof over our head, and heat in the building if we lived in the north. Today's people aren't even promised that, even if they work. There are still states with a minimum wage so low that if you work a full-time job, you will take home $1,200, $1,300 a month. I'm sorry, that's not take home, that's gross pay. $1,200, $1,300 a month. Is that right? No. I don't care what state you live in. Try to live on $1,300 a month without help. I feel for those people. And until the day I die, I will feel for those people. That's who I am. I have friends who keep saying, let's go out to dinner, and I'm just like, I can't celebrate. I can't celebrate a day in which unnecessary suffering is going on. So, that is my rant. And I'm sorry it was a rant. This has been Coping with Donald. I'm Phil. Let's hope that 2026 gets better, because the first 3 days have been bad. Have a good day.